Well, the Inn has been serving the hungry and homeless on Long Island for nearly 40 years. Joining us now in the studio is the Inn's Executive Director, Jean Kelly. For more on this, and boy, Jean, you've been there since the beginning.
Yes, I'm very fortunate that I'm one of the lucky ones that was there back in 1983 when we first opened and came together, and nobody thought that there was even a need for such a thing as a soup kitchen. We opened the very first one in Nassau County in 1983.
Because, you know, most people think of Long Island as a upper middle class, affluent area. There are a lot of people who need help out there.
Absolutely, and when we first began, most of the volunteers were actually going into Brooklyn to volunteer in a soup kitchen there because there wasn't any. And the Catholic chaplain at the time, Michael Moran, from Hofstra, brought the students into Brooklyn, and on their way back, they saw someone eating out of a garbage can in Hempstead and said, "Why are we going to Brooklyn?" And you know, from that, a small group of people came together and opened the first one in a storefront church. Oh, it's so wonderful that you have this.
Wow.
Pictures to go back and see what it was like in our little tiny space.
In the beginning, you were feeding about how many people?
On the very first day, 15 to 20, you know, but it quickly grew to 50, then hundreds, and you know, today we're about 800 to 1,000 can be, you know, coming to every day.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when you add up all the years too, it's what, 15
15 million
meals.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
because we also helped other communities on Long Island learn how to do it the same way, treating people with dignity and respect and allowing people of all faiths to come together, because the issue of hunger belongs to the whole community.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You know, anybody who comes to the Inn, they're your guests.
Yes, they're a guest. When they're not a client, we're not doing business with them. We're welcoming them into our home the same as you would welcome someone else into your home.
As you
And
say.
you know, we've just been so blessed that everybody who has come has seen that and felt that that's how they want to serve.
Care, dignity,
Care
respect.
and love.
Yes.
And love.
The need continues to grow.
Yes, certainly right before the pandemic, we were serving over 100,000 meals just in Hempstead, because we have the largest soup kitchen in Hempstead. But during the pandemic, we went to 221,000, and last year only down to 206,000. So we're still double what we were before the pandemic. We were hoping to go down much more, but people are very generous and caring, and we're just doing the best we can with all the resources. But everyone needs to figure out a way how can they help.
Right. Well, I also say so many people are struggling. That's all we hear about, the cost of everything going up. Paychecks are not, but
Absolutely.
the cost of everything else is going up. And I feel like you're going to see even more of a need as the months go on.
I know, that's what's so scary for us, but we don't really have fear, because what we're seeing is that the response on Long Island is so heartwarming. Even though there's, you know, terrible things that you have to hear in the news, what you don't hear and see is how generous people on Long Island are, and they just keep on giving and figuring out a way to help all ages, backgrounds, people of all different political spectrums. They're all coming in because the issue of hunger is one that everyone can feel.
Yeah. Before we went on the air, I was just asking you about baby formula, which nobody can find, but
Yes, we have volunteers bringing it down and figuring out a way to get it for the children that need it, that are coming to the end. So we are very, very grateful.
so we're talking about the feeding.
Right.
Feeding people who need meals, obviously, but you then expanded into housing.
Yes, after we started the first soup kitchen, we found that some of our guests, unfortunately, were also homeless, and we opened the first emergency shelter in Nassau County as well for families and single people. And from then, we now have 2 in operation after all these years, because all of the others had been incorporated into other programs. But right now, we have a family shelter and a single men's shelter where we help people in need. And then we also do temporary crisis housing in a motel, you know, to help people get started in the system.
Okay, and something else relatively new. Tell me about the Center for Transformative Care.
Change,
Oh,
yes.
change.
It's all about finding a way out of the soup kitchen. We hope not to feed people for the rest of their life. We want to find out what happened, and we can't ask them in the same place where they're eating. So 6 years ago, the people who own the building next door to us gave us the building to use, and we are now helping people get the missing ID, get jobs, get the benefits they're entitled to, and they're no longer coming. So new people are finding us, but we have helped hundreds and hundreds of people get out of the system.
Really move
Yes.
on to independence.
Yes, that's what transformative change is about. you know.
And some of it too is clothing. You're helping.
Yes, people need clothing as much, if not even more than food, because no one's giving out decent, clean clothing. And during pandemic, we stopped taking clothing, but this fall when we reopen, we're hoping to take gently used clothing. Right now, we're accepting new clothing. Anyone that wants to donate new clothing, we're giving that out on an emergency basis.
Okay, so how do we help?
Just go on our website and look at the videos, look at podcasts, see what appeals to you, and see at what point in your life are you able to do something to help. And you might not be in a position where you can come down, but on our website you can just click a few buttons and send donations to us. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. And that's what very busy people are doing. But if you're newly retired, please come down and try it for a day, see what it's like to volunteer and help any way you can.
Always needed, right?
Absolutely. We're a volunteer-based organization, so
Okay.
we love that.
Next
Thank you.
year, 40 years.
Next year, 40
Wow.
years. It's hard to believe
is.
that we have survived because of the generosity of Long Islanders. Don't ever give up hope that you're living in the wealthiest place in terms of love and compassion.
Thanks for that message of hope.
Thank you.